Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Have we got a show for you? A local woman that is making music and loving it.
I'm Effa Daines. We will visit with our local state senator to talk about the legislative session.
And I'm Stacey Beck. We'll have some cookies that you'll want to hang on the wall. They are so cute.
All this and more coming right up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How's everyone doing?
Fabulous.
So many things going on.
Yeah,
Everybody
absolutely.
hurrying and scurrying into the new year.
yeah.
That's
It's
right.
busy.
Yes. You know what? I'm thinking we're, somewhat in the middle of, this month, right?
Yeah.
It's a new year. And I think I've broken every goal I've decided to take on. And I'm okay with that, I'm actually
it.
okay. I'm owning it, yeah. And I'm just contemplating, I have been. How does that feel? Because I'm uber control freak and I've just let it all go.
I've noticed that. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Let it
is.
go.
Yeah, let it go.
It's okay.
Just
Speaking of letting it go,
Yeah.
it's a movie.
Oh.
I think Natasha finally saw The Greatest Showman.
I'm yet to
Okay,
do so.
I'm so in love. I think I
really?
jumped on the bandwagon with I think everyone in the state, in the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
Love
love
it.
it.
I love it.
So you've been twice.
So I've been twice. We'll
Twice
probably
now.
go again. We own the soundtrack.
goodness.
It's amazing.
Really?
Love
I'm
everything
yet to
about
go.
it.
I'm going.
Okay,
I'm
yes.
going to go.
So by the next time
That's right.
we
Brian.
meet,
Next
you'll have
episode,
gone.
Definitely. That's
You
for
only
sure.
kind of loved it.
No, I really liked it. I don't know that I'm just not.
Okay,
amused.
go
Love it
again.
enough to
It's
go
actually
again.
better the second time, but I think it's everything about it. Like I think we love the love story, we love the success, the failure,
Oh, yeah,
the
I did.
soundtrack.
I love
like,
it.
okay,
But ironically, one of my friends was in Vegas this last weekend. They went to see it again. They were the only ones in the
No
theater.
way.
oh, so maybe it is a Utah trend.
Utah
I don't know.
I don't know. Interesting. Speaking of Vegas, you recently went to Vegas.
Oh,
Yes. Tell us
you
about
went to
your trip
Vegas.
there.
What did you go to do?
So I went to a conference, and we can talk about the conference, but Stacey wanted to give me a hard time about how I made it to the conference, and it was kind of a tricky way of getting there this time because we had to figure out the transportation because I had to fly home to get to the airport to pick up the car to drive home. So I did something kind of non-traditional. I took the St. George shuttle to make my way to Mesquite to spend the night with my parents to then go to Las Vegas the next day.
Okay.
And I must say, if you've not done it,
No.
not bad. Not bad. So it's pretty economical. It's
Okay.
pretty comfortable. They have Wi-Fi. I didn't have to drive myself.
That's right. That's
I listened to our book.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it was, I would probably do it again.
Okay, so not bad.
Not
Because
bad.
we were laughing when you had booked it. We're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So they have a couple of choices. So they have the regular shuttle and then they have the executive shuttle. So given the choice, I'd probably take the executive shuttle because we were able to do both. So in the regular shuttle, you're side by side, which is still fine. It was
Okay.
still fantastic. In the executive shuttle, you have your own individual seat and you still have the Wi-Fi. But you know what? I would totally do it again as a
that's good to know.
one way to go to Vegas and pack your bags. And the drivers
you
were
go.
nice. Yeah. My mom's trip back to Mesquite, not as great. It was a little bit rainy and her shuttle had a leak, but
Oh, nice. Oh,
no.
goodness.
it was
okay.
fine and we would maybe do it again.
Yeah.
But,
It's a good way to know, though, because sometimes you just don't want to drive.
Sometimes
I
you
go down
don't.
there and I
Yeah,
don't
you
want
can
And
to
sometimes you
drive.
can't if you're
Yeah.
Stacy.
Every-
Because Stacy doesn't know how to fill her gas tank.
Oh,
Now this was funny.
Do that again.
At the end of our show last time,
That's
Natasha was kind of venting about a pet peeve of hers.
Yeah.
That Keith, your husband,
Yes.
runs out the gas. And it drove you nuts. And
Yes.
so I kind of mocked you.
Yes.
I must mock her a lot.
Yeah, I
I
do.
apologize for that.
She doesn't.
We
She loves
play.
it. She
So
loves it.
I got in my car after leaving Studio Chatter, and I'm like, oh, I'm low, but of course I can make it. And so, long story short, Sunday we go to church, and my husband looks at the gas tank, and he is like, when were you planning on filling the car up? And I had taken a picture the night before to send you
That's
guys
right.
because I
So
was
good.
on empty. But then my son, Mom, can I hurry and borrow your car? My daughter, Mom, hurry. And then I go out there, I'm like, oh, you have 8 miles. I'm like, oh, Natasha would kill me.
The worst. Yes.
So,
So she sent me a picture of her empty gas tank. I have pictures of the shuttle for you. So yeah, we have fun here.
That's
so
funny.
This is
yeah,
good.
but there's a yin and yang to everybody's relationship, right?
Absolutely.
So there's somebody that never puts gas in the car,
That's
Keith,
right.
and somebody that puts the toilet paper on the wrong
my
way.
goodness.
I
I'm
am
blown away by these beautiful ladies about toilet paper.
Yes, I am 110% over the top.
over the top.
Yes.
But you actually told us before we started filming this. Sometimes you put the fold in.
I do. So I did. I studied
beautiful.
it.
You studied
at
it.
Well,
That
at a
is so
hotel
funny.
because when the housekeeping makes the pretty little point, and
Yes.
they made a pretty little point. So once in a while, when I have time,
Just passing
I will.
by. You're like, "Oh,
I'll
I need
make
to
the
make
pretty
that."
little point. And I will absolutely change it if the roll is going from
I will
underneath.
too.
Yes.
So you
So
never
does it
even
make
knew
it?
about
Is it a
this.
different experience if it's not the right direction? You know, when you're in the bathroom
It's just
and
that
it's
you can
not
pull,
directed.
but if it's behind, sometimes you have to take time. What's the deal?
I don't know. I think it's just wasteful and it just doesn't make sense.
What's wasteful?
I think you're wasting toilet paper.
If you have it in a different direction.
I think so. I think it just makes more
I'll
sense
have
to go.
to check that one out. That's
The
funny.
paper towel roll, the
Yes.
stand-up roll in the kitchen also has
Yes.
to go this direction to pull this way too.
So you
Does it function differently if it's not facing the right
It may.
way?
It may.
Oh,
I
is
don't
that
know.
right?
It
Oh.
might.
the clothes
just
in
saying.
the closet also have to hang
Oh,
a certain
stop.
direction.
No. Wow, that one
Yes.
I'm guilty of right now.
You're freaking me
Yeah.
out. Remember that movie with Julia Roberts? Yeah. Do you remember that? Oh my gosh.
My cans in my pantry totally have to do that. I stack them. They all have to face forward.
Hey.
When I was watching that movie, I thought, who would do that?
We all have our
What
thing.
in the
we all
world?
have our thing. We're getting the signal. We're getting the signal. Coming up next, we'll talk about the activity at Capitol Hill. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Every January, we enter into what some consider the scariest time of the year. We are talking about the state legislature. To help us understand what's going on is our local state senator, Deidre Henderson. Welcome to a safe zone.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. So let us just preface this a little bit. Our representative, Mike McKell, said that 45 days at the state legislature can be some of the scariest.
Well, I mean, that's true. But
Taxes could go up.
right, there's all
Yes.
kinds of crazy things
Yes.
that could happen. But the way to counter that, it's actually very simple, is to pay attention, follow along. There's this great app it's the Legislative Bill Watch app. If you get on your in the App Store on your phone, you can download this from the Utah State Legislature, and you can follow along with the bills that are important to you, and contact your state representative or your state senator. And I can't tell you how many times one person has actually changed the course of legislation and made a difference. So we're part-time legislators, and we don't always know everything, obviously, and so when citizens get involved, it can make a huge difference.
Have you always been this passionate about local stuff?
Local
Politics.
I've always been a political junkie. Yeah, I guess.
Since when? I mean, before you were married, or did you just wake up in the morning and just say, I'm going to
I
be
think
a
I'll
senator?
run. I'll run for the state senate
That's
today.
right, yes.
It didn't exactly happen like that.
Okay.
I've always been a political junkie. I got married really young. I had 5 children by the time I was 28. And
Cross your heart.
And so, I just didn't think really much about getting involved locally, but I always paid attention to what was going on. And then when my youngest was started school, I met Jason Chaffetz for the first time. It was 10 years ago this month, actually, when he was
really?
running for Congress for the first time. He was a no-name candidate. Nobody knew who he was. He had no money, and he just needed a bunch of volunteers. And I kind of accidentally bumped into him, and I volunteered to make phone calls for him. Eventually, I became his campaign manager, and I ended up running his political operation out of my laundry room here in Spanish Fork for 4 years.
Wow.
For 4 years.
For 4 years, right. And then in 2012, there was a new state Senate seat that opened up in our area, and I decided, because of the experience I'd gotten over the previous 4 years, I decided, what the heck? So I ran for it.
That is amazing. So going into this session, is there anything in particular that we should keep our eyes open for, that you're particularly interested in, that women should be interested in, mothers?
Well, there's always a lot.
Okay.
There's always a lot to pay attention to. We've got a lot of big issues. The most important thing we do is pass the budget, and we have to figure out how to adequately fund education for the kids, and fund our roads and all of those important things. But there are a couple of things that I'm really excited about this session. One issue that's coming up in 2020, actually, is the 100th anniversary, the centennial celebration of the 19th Amendment. Now, maybe everybody doesn't know exactly off the top of their head what the 19th Amendment is, but that gave women across the country the right to vote. And so that was in 1920. So in 2020, we're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary. So we're kind of gearing up for this. And there are a couple of pieces of legislation that we're looking at this year passing. One of them is a license plate, because actually Utah women were the first to vote in the modern nation. We had the right to vote 50 years before the 19th Amendment was passed. And a lot of people don't realize that. Here in Utah, we were the first.
That seems
so
incredible.
Exactly. So I'm running a piece of legislation that's going to create the first to vote license plate that people can put on their cars. And I'll be the first one to sign up for it.
Wow, that is very cool.
And the year we became a state in 1896, we had another first. That was the year that the very first female state senator in the nation was elected from Utah, Martha Hughes Cannon. So another piece of legislation that we're going to be running is going to say, we're going to put a statue of Martha Hughes Cannon in the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Every state is allowed to have 2 statues. And right now we've got Brigham Young and a man named Philo T. Farnsworth, which some of you may know. He invented the television. But we're going to bring Philo home and honor him here at home and send Martha to Washington.
Was that a hard switch? Like, who did you have to convince for that one?
Well, we haven't convinced them yet. We're running that legislation, so that's one of the things we're working on this year.
Wow, that's cool. Utah has been a leader.
Yes, and people don't know this. People don't know.
So what are some other key ones?
Well, there's always I'm the rules chair, so every bill comes across my desk, and I've just spent the last 2 days reading all of the numbered bills so far. There's about 200 numbered bills so far, and there's everything from getting rid of the sales tax on food is one of the bills. Another one is a resolution, calling on Utahns to put to put shades on their outdoor lighting. I mean, there is. It's the gamut.
Okay.
There's all kinds of interesting things.
So the
Some
last
things are really
year or two, medical marijuana has been has come across your desks. It hasn't passed. Do you think this year will be the year?
I don't know if we're going to see legislation because there is an initiative that's being run right now. Now, under the Obama administration, the federal government turned a blind eye to states that legalized marijuana, both medical and recreational. But the Trump administration has said that they're not going to do that. It doesn't matter what the states choose. If the states say it's legal, it's still illegal federally. And the Obama administration turned a blind eye, but the Trump administration has said they're going to start prosecuting. So it's a little bit. We've run into some tricky issues, and really, if we want medical marijuana done the right way, there needs to be a change at the federal level.
Wow, that's interesting. I had not heard any of that.
Yeah, so I don't know if we'll see another piece of legislation this session. My guess is probably not because of that initiative that's being run.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. What about, do you guys have any questions? Cell phones, driving.
Okay, so there's always attempts to kind of tighten that down every year. I don't know, what's going to happen this year, but I do know that there is a state senator who is looking at running legislation to require hands-free only. So we'll see where that goes.
These are tough things because a lot of things. Nothing is just black and white. There's so much gray.
Yeah, there is. There really is.
I see that in city council. You hear one side and then you hear the other side, and it's hard because it's really gray.
It is. And I don't know, maybe the technology is not there yet for everybody. I mean, people who have older cars, it may be difficult for them to have hands-free only, but, eventually it'll probably get there.
Yeah.
It can still wait. Put it in the backseat. Put it in the glove compartment.
I'll
just voice my opinion. Yes.
No, I hear you. The good news is most of the things that we do during the legislative session don't have a serious impact in your lives. Like it's not 535 bills that are telling you what to do.
Right.
Most of them are actually cleaning up the messes we made the year before.
Okay. So let's invite everyone who is interested to attend Bills and Bagels. Do you know the dates off the top of your head?
I don't off the top of my head, but they are going to be I think both of them are in February. Maybe one in February, maybe one in March.
February 3rd, and then the second one's in February, but I don't remember the date. They're both on Saturdays, 7:15 a.m., and it's where all of the local representatives and senators are there to answer questions. So anyone that's home with their kids and politically involved but still wants to come and...
Where would they go for that? Where would you go?
I'll have the information on my Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
So if you sign up on or if you come and like my Facebook page, you'll have information there, and I also send out a
Your
newsletter.
personal
Yep.
Facebook? Oh, okay.
But
I think I did already. So, yeah.
Yeah, the meeting is at the Nebo School District, I think.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you, Deidre.
Yes,
Good luck.
thank you so much. We'd love to have you back after the fact.
Yeah.
Yes, keep us up to date. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Coming up next, the cutest cookies anywhere. I can't wait. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Just about everyone loves a plate of cookies. I know our crew sure does, but you're about to see the prettiest cookies around. Let's welcome Emily Burston from M's Cookies to the table.
Hi. I'm so glad you're here.
I think we all are. We're kind of giddy. We're very
setting this
excited.
up was
Oh
just-
my gosh, these are amazing.
We really could do 8 minutes of just sitting here
And just looking
and
at
looking.
them.
Yeah. I'll start unwrapping and eating while you guys look.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah,
So-
actually, we can do the taste testing.
there we
That's
go.
no problem.
Well, we have lots of questions for you. Okay, first of all, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it for about 1.5 years. In the summer of 2016,
Okay.
I was giving a baby shower for a friend of mine, and I wanted cookies to match the theme of that. And
Okay.
so my little sister and I, we just watched YouTube videos and blog posts and just tested it out, and it worked. And so
The cookies were born.
they were, and people asked about them, and it just took off from there.
So what's the difference from then to now, 18 months later? How has your company grown and changed?
Probably just how quickly it spread. Like it really went a lot faster than I wasn't prepared for it to go that quickly. I don't.
And
think.
was it
So-
mostly word of mouth? Has it been social
Yeah.
media? What has been the number one driving force? Is it people just...
Mostly word of mouth. I have had an Instagram page. Is the only way that I've been advertising or doing anything with it. So word of mouth and spreading the Instagram page around, and then it's just grown.
So speaking of Instagram, what is your Instagram handle so all of our viewers can follow you?
Ems.cookies. So ems.cookies.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So I presume the name's from your name.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And,
Oh my gosh. I mean,
Yeah.
all of these, literally, each cookie is just created by hand
Yes.
with love
Yes.
by you.
By me, yep.
So you obviously do most custom orders. If a 3-year-old's having a birthday and they say it's a woodsy or woodland theme, you customize everything. If they
Yes.
come to you with a really specific idea, you go with it.
I do. Yep. That's what all of my cookies have been. Other than holidays, I always do specific sets for holidays that you can pre-order. But the whole business has been built on custom
have you
cookies.
had a complicated request that
Ooh,
you
that's a
had
good
to
one. The
fulfill
hardest
and you
one.
were...
I think some of the hardest ones are like specific logos. Because they have to match exactly. And it's just me with my little icing bag in the kitchen, like trying to, with my picture of the logo right there, and then I'm just over here trying to match it, one by one, doing each cookie. So,
Oh my goodness.
so that's the most difficult. And then character cookies. I've done My Little Pony and Rainbow Bright and Mickey Mouse, and those are so everybody knows those.
Right.
So, you know, you get nervous to get it perfectly right.
Are you
time,
a
but
perfectionist?
I am yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm amazed. I have not one artistic skill
I don't either.
in my phone. So the floral details on these and the conversation hearts and I mean,
Yeah,
just
they're-
all
the
of it.
lettering as
I mean,
well, I love
even
that.
will you show our viewers like even what you designed for today?
Yeah, so
I mean,
this is
unreal.
what we did for today for our studio chatter.
Look at this. So cute.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
but you
know
have the back stamp on
Yeah.
it, like right when you tilted that, I can see
You
it.
can see that. Yep.
Oh
Just
my
to give it a
gosh.
little detail. So that it's
Do you
not
think
just a
you'll always
plain-
keep it that way, that you're doing everything by hand and keep it as authentic
Yeah,
as
I'm not sure how you would do it otherwise, really. You know,
yeah.
I
But
mean,
if you get bigger and bigger and
yeah,
know.
I think eventually I'll have to teach somebody to flood the
Okay,
backgrounds
yes,
or something for me, you know,
right.
and I'll do the detail work on the
Yeah,
top. But
right.
for now, it's just me in the kitchen with my icing bags.
So let's talk about a couple things. A, how to order. B, pricing.
Okay, so how to order right now is through my Instagram page.
Okay.
We are launching a website that will link there as well, so you can see the full gallery of everything that I can do. But if anyone has questions about a specific set, I'll do anything on a cookie. I'll make anything into a cookie.
Wow.
The prices do vary,
Okay.
depending on the amount of work that they take. So character cookies are a higher price than say heart cookies that don't have to be a specific character. So they range a little bit. They're between $35 to $45 a dozen. And then you can add on what I call my junior cookies, which are the smaller cookies, to any order. Just to kind of, a lot of people like to add those on because it adds a lot of quantity without having to have
a big
a
cookie.
bunch more big cookies in their
So
set.
when people are ordering, instead of doing a big dozen, can they say, can we just do 6 of the bigger and then 6 smaller? Can they totally customize it that way, or are you more really set in your...
They need to order by the dozen,
Okay.
just because if they're ordering 6 cookies, I still have to make the same amount of
Okay.
domes,
To make
and
it
amount
worth
of
your time.
icing,
That
you know,
makes
for
sense.
so they go by the dozen, and then they can
Okay.
add on their juniors to the
Okay.
dozen custom order.
and how much in advance? I mean, you know,
As soon as you can, honestly.
so like if I call, you know, tomorrow morning and I want it by 5 o'clock.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Nope,
see,
I can't do that.
so-
Yep. They take at least 2 days for me to
Okay.
plan the cookies out, have them drawn out, dough, icing, baking, and decorating. And then they need setup time before they can be packaged
Right.
and stacked together. So, but right now I'm taking cookie orders into April. So,
Wow.
yeah. And I'll have like weeks open, and then all of a sudden they're completely booked. And people who've inquired about orders, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm booked completely now. And it's just me, so I can't take on more
and
than
following
is possible.
your Instagram feed, like around Halloween and kind of through Christmas, I had never seen that. Like I'm cutting it off. So sorry, I'm booked through December 15th, and I'm
Yes.
like, wow, she is doing awesome.
Yeah, October I kind of just let the orders roll in, and it became crazy.
And you're weeping in
And
a
then,
corner.
like, yes, 50 dozen later, I was like, okay, we need to start
Well,
limiting.
I can imagine this season can get pretty crazy too. When you're
Valentine's?
Valentine's and Easter and wedding season and all sorts of things could really
Yes.
start springing up. But what's the vision for the future? What are your goals for your business?
So our goals right now, we would like to start selling out of some retail shops. We are selling out of Art City Coffee in Springville, and we want to reach out to a few more places within the next 6 months to be selling. But ideally, we do want to open a cookie shop here in Spanish Fork and keep it local and.
Like these types, or like the individually boxed, or where you can get now in the retail shops, maybe.
Yes,
That's adorable.
that's been a big
Bryce,
thing
the
is
4 guys.
because people don't necessarily want to order a whole dozen. Like people will message me and say, "Do you just have a cookie I can come by?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. But you can order some. And so that will be that's what we want to get to for people to be able to do that.
For
we wish you
Valentine's,
well,
though,
yeah.
can people order just a little package?
Yes, yep.
So Valentine's
So
is gonna
for
be special.
holidays, I always have these they're gift boxes.
Okay.
They're boxed like this, and this will be a Valentine's option here with the little envelope and cookies in there. There will be some more options that I add to.
Emily, this was so fun.
you guys.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
This is
We
great.
expect to see even bigger and better things, I'm sure.
Yes,
you are welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you. I would love to.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Coming up next, what's it like being a full-time mom but also a performing musician? We will soon find out. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. 9 albums, multiple music competition winner, active performer, and a wife, and mother of 4. Welcome, Cherie Call, to the program. Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have
Thank you for coming.
We've been waiting a while. You're hard to get here.
Oh, it's been busy, but I'm really glad to be here.
Fantastic.
So, Cherie, you're from Spanish Fork.
I do live in
You live
Spanish
in-
Fork,
okay.
yes. We love it here.
And how long have you lived here?
Well, let's see. Well, I guess, so we moved here when my daughter was 1, and she is about to turn 12.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
we've
you've been here a little
for
while.
a little while, yeah.
And you travel across the country performing and singing.
I do travel. My husband travels even more. So now that I've got little ones, I don't tour quite as much as I used to. But but yes, our family is kind of a showbiz family for sure.
Oh, does your husband do this with you?
He does sound. That's how we met. So he was the tech guy for a lot of the things that I was doing. So, but yeah, he travels a lot for his work too. But but yeah, I do travel a little bit, and I'm kind of getting a little bit back into it now. But for a lot of years there, if you go to cherrycall.com, you'll notice I have a blog called The Stay-at-Home Songwriter, and that's just because of all these years I spent writing songs and posting them from home when I had little kids and I couldn't really do as much touring.
Okay,
stuff,
so tell us how your story started.
Yeah.
You were a teenager.
Well, I've loved songwriting and pop music ever since I was a little girl. I don't know, I'm probably the oldest one here.
Oh no, you're not.
That's so sweet.
But I remember like having my boom box with the blank tape in it and just waiting next to it until my favorite song came on the radio so I could hit record.
We're with you.
Yeah, so like any like Cyndi Lauper song or the Never Ending Story, those songs when they came on, I had to hit
Could
record.
totally sing that right now.
So I just love listening to the songs and trying to figure out what made them good songs. And I started writing songs when I was a teenager, and I just really love music. And I've taken a little bit of lessons. I've mostly done things by ear, but I was a music major at BYU. That was, and then I met a lot of just in the media music program there. I met some other friends who we started recording and writing songs together and things. And I've recorded a few things on my own. I've done some things with different record labels, and now I have a family and we all do music, and it's all just fun stuff. I teach songwriting now, which is kind of full circle.
Wow.
And where do you teach songwriting?
I teach down at Snow College.
Okay.
I teach, the music majors are all required to take songwriting, so which was my favorite class at BYU. It's really fun for me to go down to Snow College and be a teacher of that class. And then I also teach for Utah Conservatory of Performing Arts, which is located in American Fork.
Okay, yes.
And those are teens who are taking songwriting, which they have a big program of music theater and a lot of other different things, but I teach a songwriting class there, which is really fun.
So one of your claims to fame here, it says that you have been a 2-time finalist in the prestigious Kerrville New Folk Songwriting Competition. What exactly is that?
Well, it's a folk festival, just like you can imagine, people in tents and hundreds of people come to go to the different performers, and they camp for weeks actually to see these things. And then part of that festival is a competition. People all over the world actually apply for it, and I've been a finalist twice. I've never quite won it, but other people who have lost like Lyle Lovett lost that competition, so I feel like I'm in good company. But yeah, it was really fun to do those.
And at that type of a thing, do you perform? Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anyone that has taken your songs that you're like so happy about?
Like taken my have I written?
performed them, yes.
Like a recording artist that maybe we would know that has recorded it on.
Locally, there have been a few things.
Okay.
Most recently I wrote a song for Hillary Week's most recent album.
really?
So that's fun.
She's
I still I've pitched songs to publishers in Nashville to try to
Okay.
get a country hit and things like that, but nothing's quite landed at this
Okay,
point.
that
But
is so
it's
cool,
fun.
though.
It's fun to try.
Oh, and speaking of Nashville, also your bio talks about the Bluebird Cafe. So,
Yeah.
so what have you done there? That's awesome.
So that's a really fun thing. They do Sunday writers' nights, and so for a while, this was actually a while ago when I worked for an airline, I would take advantage of their free flight benefits. I auditioned, and they let me come every few months and play on the new writers' nights, and then eventually they invited me to play in the round, which I was really excited that they would do that. And so they just have 4 different songwriters, and you each take turns playing songs. And if you've ever been to the Bluebird Cafe, it's just this intimate space. They get mad at people if they talk while someone's singing. Like it's a cafe, but they have all these shh signs. You have to listen. And when I took my mom there, and she was so amazed that I was excited to play there because it's tiny. There's this faded blue awning, but all of the songwriters that you know of, so many of them got their start there.
Right.
Taylor Swift, Garth Brooks, Faith Hill. All these people have played there. And so any night of the week, you might see brand new songwriters, or you might see somebody who's written #1 hits for these huge stars, and just any night they're there playing. And so to go and play there, it's kind of like a pilgrimage of sorts, I guess. I was really honored to do that.
And have you just done that one time? Or
I used to play every few months to go on the new writers' nights, and then I was invited to play in the round, and then I lost my job with Southwest and couldn't fly out there as much, and all these other things. It was kind of a snowball of things. I got married and had kids and stuff, and I've been back to Nashville since then, but I haven't played there in quite a while. I'd love to do it again sometime though.
That's cool. Wow. What a story.
So what is your vision right now for yourself? Now that even though your kids are growing up, they're still small, what would you like to see yourself
Good
be?
question.
You know, what would you like to-
Well, something that's been amazing in my life over the past few years is this idea of figuring out what success really is. And to me, I feel like success equals joy. And so I feel very successful because I love to create. I love to create music. I still continue to record and perform in a way that works well with my family.
That's awesome.
By a lot of standards, some people might think, oh, since I'm not a household name, or I'm not with a head mic doing things on on the VMAs and stuff, I may not be a success. But in my heart, I feel like
that's such a cool perspective.
I have a lot of
9 albums is
I
quite
love
amazing.
to teach. I love teaching people. But I love songwriting, and so I feel like if I have joy in the things I'm creating and sharing that with people, that's what I consider to be a success. I like sharing it with my children. I love sharing with other people who may go on to be household names. It's fun to teach and do that.
You're
kind of
part
thing.
of that. That's beautiful.
But yeah, at age 43, I don't really think I'm going to be the next
definitely
Britney
not.
Spears.
The oldest at this table.
which is quite okay. And we're definitely excited to listen to you perform anyway.
Oh, that'll be fun. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Good luck.
I want to know what this member of the Utah supergroup, the Lower Lights.
There's
group.
it is. It's a band made up of a whole bunch of different artists who all have their own gig, but it kind of all centers around a studio in Provo called June Audio, and there's a producer we've all worked with, but the Provo music scene, it's launched groups like Neon Trees, Imagine Dragons, and every once in a while we'll get members of them who join us in the Lower Lights for a show or two. But because it's kind of a small world, people there's the degrees of separation are small and stuff, but we've all recorded on each other's projects. Most of us that are the core group are people who we've sung and played on each other's albums, and sometimes we go around with 9 or 10 of us. We do hymns and Hank Williams songs and Willie Nelson, just kind of old timey vintage kind of things. So you have to look it up. You have to look it up to see what it is. It's fun. So
All right.
Thank you. I'm excited to hear you.
Yes. Well, that's coming up next. Cherie will sing for us. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. What's up first, Cherie?
Well, I thought since it's January, people are making goals. I thought I would play a song. It's never too late to learn something new. My grandmother learned how to play the piano when she was in her 80s, which is pretty cool.
Oh, there's hope for me, Ange.
But I very recently decided to learn to play the ukulele, just a little bit. And so I went down to Booth Brothers and got a ukulele, and this is a song that I made up on ukulele. You can walk me home if you want to. It's not that far. Walk me home. Nights like these were never made for driving cars. We could count the sidewalk cracks or wish on Mars. Walk me home. Walk me home. There's a big yellow moon in the sky tonight, and it's just about to pass us by. And it's just the sort of night that was made for three, you and the big yellow moon and me. You can hold my hand if you want to while we walk home. You can walk the other way if you'd rather be alone. But think of all the things that we will never know. Walk me home. Walk me home. There's a big yellow moon in the sky tonight, and it's just about to pass us by. And it's just the sort of night that was made for three, you and the big yellow moon and me. Tomorrow will keep whether or not we get any sleep. Tell me I'm right, that walking home was made for evenings just like tonight. 'Cause it seems so right. There's a big yellow moon in the sky tonight, and it's just about to pass us by. And it's just the sort of night that was made for three, you and the big yellow moon and me. You and the big yellow moon. Oh, oh, oh. You, the moon, and me. You, the moon, and me.
Beautiful. And thank
Loved
you,
it.
Sherry, for our CDs.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And what is this one?
So my most recent project is a children's album called The Buddy System.
Awesome.
And I wrote a song. I have 4 kids, and I thought something that would be helpful would be to write a song for them about having a positive attitude. So this is a song called Oh No, Oh Yes.
Love
Here we
it.
go. Oh no, I skinned my knee. Oh no, it really stings. Oh no, it makes me cry. I think it hurts so bad I might lay down and die. But I can jump back up again and save the day. Oh yes, and I know that everything will be okay. Oh yes, I can get back on my feet and try again to do my best. Oh yes, oh yes. Oh no, I lost the game. Oh no, it's such a shame. Oh no, it makes me mad. This is the most upsetting time I've ever had. But I can jump back up again and save the day, oh yes. And I know that everything will be okay, oh yes. I can get back on my feet and try again to do my best, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Every day there are smiles and frowns. I can take the bad and turn it upside down. Every day there are ups and downs. Times get tough and then they spin right back around. I can jump back up again and save the day, oh yes. And I know that everything will be okay, oh yes. I can get back on my feet and try again to do my best, oh yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
love it.
So this, the last song I'm going to sing for you is also a song from the Buddy System, and I did this album with my friend Lindy Butler, and we were really excited that this song, it won the children's category of the John Lennon Songwriting Contest. So it's a song about being able to be friends or to understand someone or be their friend even if they're not exactly like you. That's always a good thing to know how to do, I think. Once there was a mermaid swimming gracefully when a spaceship started sinking to the bottom of the sea. It landed in her garden and she kind of felt annoyed, but the spaceman was just a boy. She hid behind some coral and watched him for a bit. He looked a little lost, then he found a place to sit. She swam and sat beside him, and she thought she saw him smile when she said maybe he could visit for a while. And she said maybe an astronaut and a mermaid could be good friends, even though we're not the same. We could save each other from the monsters and play each other's games if we learned each other's names. He said the ocean's not so different from outer space. I'm feeling kind of weightless in this underwater place. And your hair looks cool and crazy, and there are fish that look like stars. Tomorrow, maybe we could go to Mars. I'll bet you'd like to swim around in zero gravity, and the Martians won't be scary as long as you're with me. And we could chase the comets, I think it sounds like fun, and you could still be home for dinner when we're done. He said maybe an astronaut and a mermaid could be good friends, even though we're not the same. We could save each other from the monsters and play each other's games if we learned each other's names. The universe is wide, and it holds so much love inside. If you open up your eyes and see, those stars were made for you just as much as me. Maybe an astronaut and a mermaid could be good friends, even though we're not the same. We could save each other from the monsters and play each other's games
tell me what's your name?
Thanks again for inviting me. It's been really fun.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Cherie. Beautiful. There's more studio chatter on the way. Wow, we made it again, and it is time for our book club report.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for reading it.
Yes, it
you
was
both
good.
are super busy, so thank you.
It's great.
You read it.
I read it.
You
Yeah.
listened to it, and I
I
listened
did
to
both
it.
actually. So I started off reading it. Then when I ended up in Ghana, I
Okay.
was
So
listening to
our book was Homegoing by Ya Gyasi.
Yes.
And if you had to rate it, I'm on Goodreads, and I rate my books 1 to 5. 1 not liking it,
loved it.
5 being the best. How would you rate this one?
5 because
Five.
yeah, and it was more alive. The book became more alive because I was in Ghana, and she was talking about
gosh.
Ghana. Yeah,
I
and
can't
certain
even
places.
imagine.
Exactly.
So,
So,
even
for me,
imagine.
So the way she did the story is
Yeah.
these two half sisters. This one marries into the British, not royalty, but marries a British soldier, and you follow her life for her posterity for about 300 years. But then the other half sister gets enslaved and is put into slavery, and you follow her. So it's about a 300-year.
and their families after that. Yeah, it was really
I just think
interesting.
for me it brought it to life. Like we've even read several books about slavery here, but through my life I've read several books on slavery. But this one I think was the best visually because it went back to where the British really started it. I know I had heard that the Britons were
The
involved.
Brits, yeah, and the Portuguese on it. They started it, and then the neighbouring countries in Europe.
Yeah, so
also
that was
came in.
fascinating.
There were a couple of things that surprised me. That this was a first-time author.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was super.
she was amazing.
Yeah, that was very amazing because it was so engaging. You had to be focusing, especially to listen to the book, because we're busy people and having to listen to it. You had to be so focused.
Yeah.
I almost wish that I had the hard copy, and I still might purchase it just to have the hard copy and re-listen to it again, because there's those storylines that you're listening to with so many characters and the stories that are going on, but with those storylines also very engaging.
Yes.
And the different happenings going on in each of those characters.
Yeah, because even with listening, I still went back to the book because I lost. There were so many characters, and they were changing so quick that I thought, "Who is this? When did this person come?" So I went back to the certain chapter to find out who that person was.
So did you guys have a favorite character? So just to kind of keep our audience in the loop, every chapter is a new person.
Yeah.
And their posterity. So from, it just kind of goes down.
they were.
Did you have a specific chapter that like just hit you or tugged at your heartstrings a little bit more, or that you connected with?
I loved the girl at the end whose daughter was. Oh, remember there's the crazy woman. The grandma.
Yes.
So the grandma, and she would visit.
Yes.
And it was kind of, for me, it was like going home. My mum's there and my kids are going there. And so it was really strange. But her going and experiencing what that was like and being with her grandma and having all these dreams kind of relating to what happened to her grandma, because she was having all those dreams as well, remember, with the fire. And I just thought, I don't know, brought closer the importance of your heritage. You know?
Yeah.
And I'd hate to lose it. For me, I was like, I've started going back to Ghana, and I want my kids to go back, whether or not they like it right now. I still want them to know.
appreciate it.
Yeah, because when we were young, we didn't really appreciate it as much.
They were storytellers.
Yeah,
Storytellers, because a lot of them couldn't read or write.
right. And you had to pass
Did
it
you
down.
have one?
I think James and his wife.
Now remind me who James is, because there's a lot.
James is.
Wasn't he the soldier?
Yes.
One of the soldiers.
Yes.
Yeah, the
and
white
then,
soldiers.
But then ultimately, I think the way that the book begins and kind of opens you to how the castle setting, and then at the end how it kind of ties it all back together again. I really couldn't. I imagined you on your recent visit visiting there and really longing to visit there myself. So that really is when we posted it to Studio Chatter as a bucket list item. That truly is something that I would love to visit.
And I've never really cared to go to Africa. I don't think until I read this book and probably heard about your trip.
I think that's what was so really engaging, or what was made it real this time. The fact that you had been there and we were reading it was almost like we could visit it sort of with you.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, ladies, thank you for reading it.
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
Tasha, you're up next.
Okay. Well, interestingly enough, because I don't trust my own judgment in books anymore, so we are going to rely on Aqua's mother, who kind
Actually,
of
it was my sister.
Oh, your sister,
Yeah, it
who
was my
suggested
sister,
the book. And because it's kind of the Valentine's Day season, it is called Real Love by Greg Bear.
Okay.
Unconditional Love and Relationships. So
Oh,
learning.
that's perfect.
Yes.
It
Great
really is.
choice.
Good job.
Yes,
I
yay.
love it.
Thank you,
Yes.
sister.
Oh, yeah.
And we all seem to really enjoy Audible. If you have not used Audible or
Yes.
downloaded Audible, I believe it is free on
Your
Audible
first
right
one.
now. Your
Your
first
first
one. Oh,
one.
your first
Yeah,
one. Okay.
and then it's
if
like
you
13.
if you make it
$13.99 a month.
Yeah.
Something like
Is that
that.
what it is?
$13.95 a
With
month.
2 credits for that.
One.
Oh, is
one
it just one a
credit.
month?
Yeah.
But you can do two.
Okay.
Yes, you can buy extra credits. Yeah.
So,
we all enjoy it.
This was a great show.
Yes.
Fun.
So much
It was
great
really fun.
Yeah.
Great content, great guests. Hope you love it as much as we have.
Great cookies. And
Thank you.
all the information will be on our Facebook page.
Yes, make
so.
sure you're following us on Facebook.
That's right.
Thanks for being here with us, and we hope you enjoyed the conversation.